good evening to everyone who was watching in Living
Campus!
Okay, so my name is Nusa Adabatija, your host for today, and also we have
Najwa Azmi.
So finally, we have Najwa
Yes.
in our studio today.
Yes. For the past 3 weeks, you guys cannot see my face, and finally, I'm back to in Living Campus. Wow.
Okay, I think it's around like 3 weeks you are not around.
Yes, because I have lots of problems and I cannot mention it here. But it's okay, just PM me after this show. Okay, so right after, actually we want to talk about today's topic, where it's really interesting. And what is the topic, Sada?
So the topic for today is how to gain confidence, and also we have such a prominent guest in our studio today.
Yes, ooh, I'm so excited. So straight away, let's introduce our guest for today. Okay, so this pinky girl, I'm very sure that every one of you are really, familiar with this girl because she's really hot. And she was the one that replaced my job for the past 3 weeks as a host in Living Campus. Okay, so she's a consultant for Skula and also a moderator, an MC, and what else?
DJ.
Producer. Wow, God. Like, really in high self-esteem.
Right, are you guys done with...
Yeah. I'm just one compliments here. Okay, so
Shasha
Puan, maybe you can introduce yourself to the audience.
That's not introduction?
That's the introduction from me.
Introduction background.
From which kuliah?
Alright, you'll have your time after this.
I'm waiting.
So, hi everyone, I'm Syasya Fuad. Apart from being a host in IIUMTV, I'm a second year first semester student taking English language and literature, planning to specialize in linguistics.
Whoa. Okay.
And also beside her, we have a very famous guy in the world.
Yes.
Okay, so the name given is Aiman Azlan, who he is an international motivational speaker,
that's great.
a bestseller author,
Wow,
and also a young mentor. I think he started doing vlog during 2011 in Toronto, Canada.
Oh my God.
And then he also started to begin writing book, and right now officially he has like around 6 books published.
In total.
Yeah,
Oh
in
my
total,
God.
And one of the book was bestseller in MPH, guys.
Woo! Okay. So brother Aiman Azlan, maybe you can introduce yourself.
I just want you to continue on. Lagi. Yes.
I'm ready for that. Okay.
Assalamualaikum guys.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Aiman Azlan. Full name Muhammad Aiman bin Azlan. Azlan, by the way, my father's name.
Oh, okay.
Because you asked me, right? Can I call you Azlan? Sure, but
Sorry,
it's not
it's
here.
my mistake. Okay.
I studied psychology in University of Toronto, Canada for 4 years. Graduated 2013 and immediately went into becoming a motivator, public speaker until today. It's about 8 years now.
Wow.
I started second year university, and 8 years after that, here I am today, still loving the job, loving the life, and can't wait to do more of this stuff.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm really I'm so afraid to ask the questions to our guests because they are really, at the level of, I don't know how to talk about that, but
Yes,
it's okay.
yes. We're very high up there.
Right.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
Yeah, like that.
Okay, no more
you
compliments
cannot
after
ask us
this.
any questions at all.
Okay. So straight away with the first question.
Okay, so
I want to ask. Okay, so actually I want to ask Syasya Fuad. Can I call you Syasya or can I call you Syasya Fuad or Madu?
You can call me Madu.
Madu. Wow, honey. Okay, so Madu, how you define the word of the term of self-confidence? How would you define that?
I think self-confidence is when you're comfortable being yourself, being you, and not being someone else, because like I would take it in a context of, for example, myself. I have like some sort of not a really flawless skin, so self-confidence for me is when I'm comfortable in my own skin without actually feeling afraid or demotivated when I go outside or wherever. So that's how I define self-confidence.
Oh, Madu, you look so flawless, I guess, and you actually were really, such a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
because I'm too fat, so I'm not confident with
Okay,
myself.
let's not self-discriminate each other.
Right, true,
I'm just
true.
talking. Okay, then. Okay.
Okay,
Next question.
So for Syasya, she said that she wants to be comfortable in her own skin. So how
Yes.
about you, brother Aiman? So how should
Ah.
we define self-confidence?
How I define self-confidence is being brave enough to try.
Wow.
Brave enough.
So it's a simple concept, but really, if you talk to so many young people as I have, that's probably the one thing that a lot of young people are afraid to do. Try. Like for example, taking your situation as an example,
Yeah.
try to go outside. For some people, that's like a no-brainer. For somebody else, maybe going outside is something scary that you have to try.
Yes.
So confidence means that you are brave enough to try.
Yes. Go beyond your
Agree.
comfort zone,
Yeah.
I guess.
I said
Yeah.
it's true because if you didn't, how you know that what you are capable of?
True.
That's true. That's true. If you don't do anything, and you just end up worrying and worrying, what if this? What if
Yeah,
that?
definitely the overthinking.
You are sinking yourself deeper into your own anxiety.
Yes.
And the best way to do that is to actually try.
Yes,
Yes.
because without trying, you don't actually get to explore your fullest potential. And what do you have to show everyone? Like, what differentiates you from everyone? Because I believe that each single one of us has a special personality trait that makes us, us. But then without self-confidence, maybe people don't see that. So,
But
That's true. Vote for Sasha.
Yeah, Sasha, yes. Okay. So when we are talking about self-confidence, there are some people that also, have lack self-esteem in their
Yes.
So what are the causes the person or that people lack in self-esteem? Maybe brother Aiman?
Well, the easiest answer would be it depends. There's no black or white answer. What I understand about people is that every face that I see has a story behind it.
Yes.
And the stories can be similar in theme, but there are specific stories for each individual. So when you say, why do people don't have self-esteem, I can't give you one answer.
true.
So, but there are factors. Chief among them is how you were raised. How you were raised. A lot of our issues in adulthood, many of them you can trace back to that person when they were young. Whether that means how their parents treat them, whether that means how their siblings treat them, or whether that means that the person's experience at school. So during those formative years, we call it, the formative years is when you actually build yourself. That's the root. And if the root is not strong, then you will see the tree and how it is when it faces challenges. A tree without a strong root can easily
Stumble.
Wow.
So one of the factors to make the person lack of self-esteem is either because of their surrounding during their
And also because of their
something
personal
about
experience
about their
before.
childhood, something about their early experiences.
Yes.
Now
true.
that's one factor. I'm not saying that's the only factor, but I just want
That's
to
the main
highlight.
factor, actually.
I just want to highlight that one because I don't think people realize how big of a deal it is to make sure that your children have the best childhood that they can have, and how long of an impact they can have in their life even after you're gone. So just think about how the impact that you can have on a person in a large scale, long term.
Yeah, because everything must have started somewhere from their childhood. So probably the upbringing, the society around it, the standards, someone's face that they see it as a burden. So probably that is where the lack of self-esteem. Like, for girls, sometimes they lack of self-esteem on how they look because of the beauty standards that the society
True. Yeah,
actually
especially
sets
in
on.
Malaysia.
Nowadays, in social media, people like to compare each other and also
Right.
like girls
True,
like to feel
True.
Body shaming and
demotivated,
everywhere,
Yes, body shaming, face shaming. Sometimes in situations which I face it most of the time, like on Twitter, I used to be face shamed all the time. So that was one of the main reason how my self-esteem went down because of the beauty standards in Malaysia, because they are convinced that people with flawless, fair skin
True,
are
yes.
defined as beautiful.
Yeah.
So sometimes, of course, me as a girl, I always have the urge to feel pretty, to feel beautiful. So that was where my self-esteem just
Wow.
Okay,
Oh my
so-
God, I'm so amazed
We are
with
so
your
invested
answers.
in your talk.
Yes, and actually, we want to talk a lot. I mean, many questions to go after this
We're gonna talk more about that after the commercial break. So stay tuned.
with In Living Campus.
Okay, hi, my name is Nur Shafizan. I'm a second year and second sem student. I've been 4 semester in Living Campus, and this sem I in charge as studio director and assistant producer.
My name is Kausa. I'm also second year, second semester, but I'm not a communication student. But this is my second sem with Living Campus, and I'll be in charge for social media.
Okay, in school life, I've been denda because we didn't finish our school homework. So
I was being denda as well, but the whole class was being punished because we didn't hang our curtains. So we have to sort of go around the block, and we have to go pass through other classes. So it's
just because he doesn't hang the. Okay, what kind of school?
even to know.
Okay, I've been chased, not catch, chased by a dog in front of many people, and I don't like. Why just me have been chased by the dog, not the other people? So you?
Mine was during Tawe. We were going down the stairs, and I slipped, and I sort of jatuh tangga. It was like and everyone was
Wow, that sound effect. That sound effect.
everyone stops, and I was like, please go. I'm so embarrassed.
Such
Yes,
embarrassing.
I'm so
Okay, you first.
I think there's this one episode that we recorded that we did last sem, which is Fir'aun Theatre episode. It was a very funny
That
episode
episode,
because
yes.
we were laughing
All the time.
Even the hosts were laughing. Even
We at the control room,
yes, were laughing.
as well.
I don't exactly remember why we were laughing, but it was
Yes.
a very funny episode. Yeah.
And the episode going so smooth, like
There's
no
no
disturb,
technical.
no technical problem, like
Unlike
Just-
the usual
yes.
that happen.
Yeah.
just
unlike-
smooth. I like that episode. Okay, don't forget to follow our social media, IIUMTV at
on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Okay, and subscribe and
Subscribe our YouTube channel.
give like, give thumbs up.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back to Living
Living
Campus.
Campus.
Okay, so
Ah.
just now we talked about how to gain self-confidence.
Yes,
Oh.
and there are lots of answers from both of our guests, and I'm really excited to know more from them to how to gain this self-confidence. Okay,
Okay,
straight away
so
with
I
the questions.
feel like people nowadays they start to misunderstood about the difference between arrogant and also narcissistic. Maybe because when they see these people, they think, oh, this people is too arrogant, or maybe this people is too self-up.
Yes, because
Self-obsessed.
sometimes when we are too confident, we like to upload like many photos in our
Yeah.
social media. Then some people will say that, oh, this girl is really a narcissism.
People start to call you
narcissistic.
names. People start to calling you narcissistic or maybe arrogant. So how should you differentiate between arrogant and also narcissistic?
First of all, that was something I can really relate so well. No, because
Me
true story. There was an anonymous platform named Curious Cat. So
Yeah.
of course there was this always one anonymous that asked, like, how are you so confident in posting your own face when your face is not even that good looking? Like,
Just personal attack.
yeah, like how confident are you?
How dare you?
So my first reaction was, apa masalah kau? Right? So, you know, being arrogant is basically when you think, in my perspective, like my perspective is like when you think like you have it all, like he or she doesn't have it. So, you know, like I'm better than you in some sense. So that has a sense of arrogance. Narcissistic, on the other hand, is like when you feel so good about yourself that sometimes you just how to say, you just
don't take care of what others people say about you. Like that.
Yes,
Just
yes,
ignore
yes,
everything.
yes. Because arrogance is in a sense of you. It's something a bit negative of a trait because you feel like you're better than others. But narcissistic is you just feel so good about yourself. You just like, oh, I am pretty. Like, oh, I am you know, good looking. But it's not the same statement as I'm better looking than he is. I'm better looking than she is. So it's just feeling good by yourself. But probably Aiman here, he has his own answer
Yes.
on the difference of narcissism and
Arrogance.
arrogance. So what do you think? Aku pula yang host.
Yeah,
Okay,
free host
Syasya.
today.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Our
yeah.
boss, eh?
So what about you?
Can I chill or
Yeah,
or
you
do I
can
have
chill.
to-
You can just chill. Just make yourself.
Oh my God, let's think about that.
I think there's a key moment in your question when you say people call you narcissist, people call you arrogant.
Right.
So I think I want to tackle that part first.
Okay.
People cannot determine your intention.
True.
I mean, you know your intention. So
True.
when you post that picture, do you intend to want to show off?
Or do you like
Sometimes.
just
I
intend
mean-
to feel good?
I mean, that's a question you have to ask yourself, and only you have
see.
the answer,
Oh.
regardless of what people say, right? So I've had people tell me that I'm arrogant when in fact in my heart I don't have that intention.
True.
But sometimes people misread by the way you look, by the way you carry yourself. Maybe there's a miscommunication there. So maybe you can clarify, I'm sorry, that's not my intention. But coming back to the real issue, at the end of the day, you control your intention.
True, yes.
Okay? So in that case, there are one of two scenarios. Number one, they're wrong, you're right. Meaning, they guess your intention wrong. In that case, why do you care?
Exactly.
They got
Why
it
even
wrong.
bother? Why even bother about
That's
what
my
others
Why
life.
bother? Why bother?
The thing that I find most fascinating is when somebody says, you're arrogant, and you're like, wait. Did you just agree with that person's interpretation of your intention?
Oh.
Did you just agree?
True.
Because your intention is yours.
Yes.
Why do you give the control to somebody else?
Mm-mm.
But that's scenario A. There's scenario B, where, yes, they hit the nail on the head.
Oh.
You do have the intention to show off.
So that's when you
So
feel
now what?
offensive.
So now what?
So now what? Okay, so now you got caught now. Caught red-handed again.
Yeah.
So do you be like, alamak kantoy? you could use that route, or you could say, thank you for pointing out my mistake. I'll try to do better. Either way, scenario A or scenario B, you win. I don't mean win as in a way that this is a competition. You win in a way that you improve.
Oh, true.
That's what I mean by winning. I don't mean that
uh-uh.
you compete with other people. You improve yourself to become a better person. Okay? Is scenario A or scenario B? Now, that's the one thing that I would like to address first lah. Now, the difference between narcissism and arrogance. Arrogance is when you think of yourself as higher than somebody else in terms
Like
of value.
ethnocentrism. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
In terms of value, not in terms of, let's say, skill, for example. Like in terms of skill, I could say I'm better in writing than you.
Oh, yeah.
It's something that I could measure, something that we can have a competition over. But in terms of value, like as a human being, I cannot say I'm more valuable than you. Immediately you are in arrogant zone. Even if a little bit you think of yourself, oh, I'm better than that person. Let's say, for example, you read the news and somebody just raped a person. Na'uzubillah. Somebody just raped a person. And then you say to yourself, I'm better than that rapist.
Oh God.
It's easy to say that.
Yes.
I know. But how do you know for sure?
Yes, how to control yourself from being.
How do you know for sure?
Yes.
And then you say to yourself, I'm a bad guy, but I'm not that bad.
Oh, yes.
So whenever you put somebody else's value down and you up, that's arrogance.
Wow.
Okay?
Right.
So the ideal one is to just see yourself on the same plane as everybody else.
I see.
Now we can be better or less better. We could be better or less in terms of skills, skills. Like
Yes,
like you're a better cook than I am.
No.
For example, or you're a better speaker than I am. For example, we could say that. It's okay. It's not
Yeah.
arrogant.
True.
But when you think of value, this is something inside of your heart and your head. When you think of value,
The tangible things that we
the
cannot-
intangible thing,
Yeah,
value,
intangible.
your
Wow.
worth. You think to yourself, I'm better than you. Even if you think to yourself, I'm just 1% better, still, that's arrogance. Narcissism,
God.
narcissism is a technical term. It's actually a mental disorder.
Oh.
But I understand people use it very casually,
Yes,
like
true.
like the way people use I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though what you mean is that I'm devastated, I am so sad. Depressed is something else. So the same way here, when you say somebody is narcissistic, do you mean that in the medical term, or do you mean that because you just don't like that guy? If you're talking like technical term, it is a mental disorder, which is a serious thing. It's a type of personality disorder where a person is literally in love with himself. Not figuratively, literally in love with himself or herself. Cannot find any flaws. There's this overinflated ego, this grandeur of self that you have. Literally in love with yourself lah. That's the disorder. It's not fun. It's not fun, really.
Yes, true.
Arrogance and narcissism is different.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's such a
I just
broad
find out that-
explanation. Details, like so details
Yeah.
about narcissism and also arrogance. Oh my god, it was
I never
so
know that
great.
narcissistic was actually a mental disorder. That maybe
Yes,
the
that's why.
person.
Just be mindful lah when you use the term. Just like the way you say you're so crazy or retarded or depressed.
You know,
I
'cause
mean, these words have meaning, you know.
Yeah, because sometimes my friends also, they always say this to me that I'm like that kind of narcissistic person. I don't know why, because I just like to upload my photos. Like only me without anyone. I don't know. Okay, so actually, I have this question for Syasya. So, have you ever experienced where you feel low self-esteem, and how you overcome that feelings? Don't cry.
So I think this is a story where some of you might have witnessed or seen before on Twitter around. Actually, it was around last year.
Yes, true.
So I had severe acne problem back then. So using with that anonymous platform, somebody actually asked me, "Don't you have any plans to clear up that face? Geli aku tengok." It's like I did not ask for this to happen. So that was where my self-esteem, I questioned myself. I questioned my worth. Like, why am I not as pretty, or why do I feel this way? I feel down with myself. So, because I always go wild. I always do all this hosting, MCing.
Yes,
Like, people might see me as confident. Like, how to be confident like you? When in fact, it's one thing that I struggle with every day. Every time I wake up, I look at the mirror. That is when I always feel so not confident on myself, actually. Like, seeing how my skin works with everything. So that was where I feel down. So the only way for me to step out from it is by distracting myself and like doing something that I think or I feel good doing it, like being a speaker or being an MC or being a host, because I think of it as a way that differentiates me from others in a good way, because when you're emceeing or hosting, when you have to manage the public, it means that you have to face them. You have to let everyone see you, and for you to host or MC well, you must have contact with the audience. So how can I have eye contact with the audience well if I don't let myself be seen by them? So yes, I try to tell myself they don't care of how your skin might look. Like from the first guys, all they care about is how you manage the public, how you manage your audience. So that's how I try to overcome that feeling. And of course it comes, it gives back. Like people will actually tell me like, oh, you're such a good host, you're such a good MC. Can I have a business card and everything? So that actually convinces me. They don't look at my skin, but they look at my skills, however.
Yes.
So I think that's how I overcome my
Can I add
self-esteem.
something?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, of course, bro. Aiman.
Sometimes I think people's comments about us is more of a reflection of them instead
That's
of
true.
us.
Mm-mm.
I'll give you an example. There's a famous story that I've heard when I was in university, where there's this one man together with his friends saw a dead dog, and then all his friends said, "Oh, ugly dog! Like, oh, very smelly! Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
But then this guy says, "Look at his teeth, so white."
Oh.
So it depends. Really, when somebody gives comments to you like you're fat or you're this, sometimes I think maybe you have some issues that you don't want to talk about, but then you
Yes.
project it
To someone
to
else.
someone else.
True.
So it's more of a reflection of the person than us. I mean, we know it for sure because believer is a mirror to another believer.
Yes.
So it's like he's looking in a mirror,
Well,
basically.
So it
Good.
depends on how people see things.
Some Islamic perspective
Yeah.
in this context.
Hashtag dan dakwah.
Dan dakwah. Yes. Oh my God. There are a
That's
lot
a
of
hashtag,
questions.
Yeah.
There are a lot of questions. I don't know how to say this, but I'm so amazed and speechless with all the answers. So we'll be right back after the commercial break in Living Campus.
Hi, my name is Mazrain. I am production assistant for BT.
Hi everyone, my name is Gamon and I'm a production assistant for audio.
My hobby obviously are surfing internet, sleeping and eating and playing around with my friends, hanging around with my girls. So
I have various of hobbies. For instance, I like to play basketball, I love to jog, and I love to do mini workouts in my room.
for me, I think I have a habit where I like to peel off my dry lips. So that's why my lips a bit dry and I have to put on my lipstick all the time.
People say that if I'm too comfortable in a place, I don't mind wherever the place is. I can lay down the place and roll over the floor, and I don't care if people are looking at me. So yeah, that's something weird about me.
I think I love collecting sneakers where I have a lot of shoes in my room. I have about 8 to 9 shoes in the room, so that's the fact about me.
One of the best qualities about me is that whatever work is presented in front of me, I will try my best to do it, regardless of how tough it is. I will try my best to finish it with the quality that the person wants from me.
I think every episode has their own fun moments in our production. For example, for our first episode in season 5, there were a hectic moment where we all having fun. So I think that's the point of it.
For me, I guess it's every episode, because not only you're doing work professionally, but my intention of being here in this one is not only to do, not for the work experience, but to make good friends. And I always count every episode as one of the best moments of my time in ILC. Please do follow us at IIUMTV on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
And make sure to watch us on IIUMTV YouTube channel every Tuesday at PM on
In Living Campus.
back in Living Campus. Oh my God, it's such a great studio today. Because if you guys can see this, our guests, look at them.
They make themselves at home.
Yes, it's an informal shows for today, but it's okay.
But it's okay because it makes yourself comfortable
I
because
want this.
Oh, want that pillow. Okay, so straight away with our next question for Bro Aiman.
Aiman.
Okay. Okay.
The question was, what are your tips on how for student or maybe for someone who
To gain their self-confidence.
Okay.
Tips.
especially to those like Sister Syasya who's fighting with themselves, fighting with the public.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I mean, to be honest, I kind of feel very heavily for you because I mean the symbol of your lack of confidence is so visible for the
Yes.
public
Yeah.
eye,
Mm-mm.
and it can be something that people notice on the first moment that people meet you. So it's
Mm-mm.
gonna be very very difficult to handle that.
Very difficult.
But my general advice for confidence building is in line with the concept of be your own friend.
Oh.
And the idea came because a lot of the young people that I have interacted with, they rely on the outside to give them confidence.
Oh.
And it could be a friend, it could be parents, teachers, their grades,
They're seeking for validation from
the
others.
money. Validation from others is fine. But when you rely, that's the word, rely on the outside to give you confidence, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Validation is not only okay, it's normal. I want validation from my son, my wife, my father, my mother. But when you rely, like you lean on 100% of your confidence to that,
Like
it becomes a problem when you don't get it.
as an example.
Let's say you got an A, 4 flat every semester,
Mhm.
confident, boom, 1B.
Oh.
That's it.
I see.
1B is all it takes.
So what the people, the society think of you is what you gonna be like that.
What the society thinks is actually another factor. The grades that I talk about is you putting your confidence in the grades. You defining your confidence with the grade. All right. So there's no problem with feeling good with your grades. I just want to make a distinction. The problem is when you define yourself with it. That's the key thing. Let's say you define yourself with the grades. So I'm an A student. What happens when you get a B or A minus for that matter? Suddenly, not all your confidence, your whole identity crush because you define yourself from the outside, not from the inside. So what I propose is to define yourself from the inside. Look at your inside. What's your value? What's your principle? What do you fight for? What do you stand for? Right? Because those things nobody can touch.
True.
Nobody can touch those things. They're inside of you. So whatever happens outside, if the inside is intact, whatever happens outside, it will never crush your confidence. You may feel bad once in a while, you may feel down once in a
Yes.
while, but you will bounce up very, very quickly once you have that inside. That's the friend inside. That's the friend inside. Whenever somebody says you're ugly, for example, right? The friend inside would say, no, you're precious. The friend inside. You can train your friend inside to become your best motivator, your best pickup person, your best friend.
Yeah.
But you first have to treat yourself like you treat your best friend lah.
Oh.
Right. I would like to add that with my current
You cannot add
situation.
from that.
Another question.
This edition. End the show now.
I want to relate it to
Syasya, what do you want to
something
say?
else.
Of course, Syasya, let's go.
So relating from whatever he said, I think what I can apply is like, of course, when I mentioned that my main insecurity is my skin condition, my acne. So of course, people would say that you look ugly with that acne. So I used to actually rely on those kind of comments. I used to actually define myself as someone who's ugly because of her acne. But then, other than doing hosting and stuff, I keep telling myself these scars, these pimples are what makes me beautiful, are what makes me unique from others. Sometimes it defines how my cheeks look like. Sometimes it kind of like looking like freckles. That's what that's what I try to tell myself. Like I try to tell people, sometimes you not having flawless skin is actually really okay. It's normal. It happens normal around people. It's just your hormones. There's nothing monstrous about it. So yeah. I nak act tu je. Don't have to
Oh
put
my
a
god,
long
they are
face
so
over it.
cute. So Syasya, actually, obviously we get to know that you boost up your self-esteem with all those things,
And seeing hosting,
hostings
so
and
on.
everything.
Right.
So maybe you have some tips for the students, especially like some of them really nervous when doing the presentation or public speaking.
Maybe
So
they had a stage fright in front of
Yes,
stage. So
Uh-huh.
how would you advise to them on not to fear?
maybe you have some tips for them.
Alright, so probably this one I would just talk in the context of when you're about to give a public speech
Okay.
or presentations, right? So this is the question I always get a lot because I always post up my videos of me talking about stuffs like my recent posting in certain recording studios, and then they will ask how are you so confident in conveying your speech in that matter. I would suggest you to actually look up on those topics. When I say look up, not just you reading the slides, but you actually digest those topics, you actually digest those points, because when you know what you want to talk about, that is where you feel confident about it. And like you will immediately feel like instead of you just presenting, you want to tell it to your friends. Because when we tell you a story, okay, for example, when I want to tell you a story, it's something that I personally relate and can know. So of course I'll be like, hey, do you want to know something? So that's enthusiastic. Compare it with me just reading the slide of, okay, so this just happened, and then reading. So
You
of
know
course,
what's interesting?
yeah. So like,
This happened.
exactly.
Firstly.
Yes, so that is how you make your presentations and your speeches interesting publicly. So that's what I always do when I have to facilitate my juniors, when I have to give presentations. I would relate it with the public as well. And of course, when you have stage fright, when you panic, all you have to do is breathe. Literally breathe, take deep breaths of 5 counts, and just imagine that they are not there to taunt you or to haunt you, but they're here to listen to what you want to say.
Wow.
And also, I think people have this kind of fear where they feel like, what if I make a mistake in front of stage? What
Yes,
if I make a mistake? And they feel like the people bashing there, or maybe like on the social media, people commenting bad negativity and toxicity. So how would you relate to them? How would you maybe like provide?
When
some
we're
food?
afraid of people judging us, it
Yeah.
becomes a barrier for us to uncover our true potential. That I mean, as in when you think too much about what others are going to say, immediately it's going to dim your insights and dim your own potential. So first of all, don't think about what others are going to talk badly about you. If they want to talk badly about you, like what Aiman had mentioned, that is a reflection of themselves.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
like a
don't
mirror.
have to think about others. You just think of what's good for yourself. It's a skill for us to actually think of what is good and okay for us to take into consideration. So what about you? To close this show, what about you?
Yeah.
I would like to add a better answer.
No, you're not allowed to add.
Okay, so I think the question, what if I make a mistake?
Yeah.
You can change it to, so what if I make a mistake?
So what?
So what?
Not in an arrogant way. Let me add that, okay? What I mean by that is just accept the fact that making mistakes are normal.
Yes, true.
Because we
We
humans
learn
are
from mistakes.
imperfect.
Just let go of this idea that you have to have a flawless presentation,
Or be perfect all the time.
because that's impossible. Basically, that's impossible. So just accept the fact that you are human and you're good to go. And plus, when somebody respond to you, yes, in a way that's a reflection of who they are, but also be very careful not to not to pile them up in one category.
Mm-mm.
Usually whenever somebody criticizes you, you say, "Oh, that's a hater. That's a hater. That's a hater." Maybe he's a hater, but listen first,
To the points.
because
That is gonna be hate.
sometimes there are negative feedback that's not hate. That's just constructive criticism.
Criticism.
And they want you to become
Criticism.
better person, like.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's say
Mm.
somebody saw my video and then that person says, your lighting is quite dim. I can't see you that well. I can't enjoy this video.
Ah.
In my ears, right? I'm hearing like hater, hater, we have a hater here. But
But
really,
then-
if you think about it, it's a good comment.
Yes,
It's a good
mm-mm.
comment. Now compare
Take it in
that
a
to
positive
somebody
ways.
saying, muka kau hodoh.
That's haters.
So like, how do you differentiate then? It's easy. The way to differentiate is ask yourself, can I benefit myself
From
with
this
this,
comment.
from this comment?
Mm.
If
Got
somebody
that.
says you're hodo, what am I gonna do with this? This is my face. This is my face. Deal
Almost
with it.
threatened me, you know.
This is my face. Like somebody says about like your nose is a certain way. Like I mean your the color of your skin. Like all
Mm-mm.
these things are just me. You're not giving me any value.
True.
True.
You're
Yes, I
just
agree.
attacking my person.
You're just attacking my physical
Yeah.
features.
You're attacking me about something that I cannot control.
Yes, cannot change, cannot control. But if you were to your content is boring or like your lighting
That's okay.
that's okay because we can actually
Oh.
benefit. Okay, so if this content is boring, then probably I
Let's
can
improve.
come up with
Mm-mm.
better content. So you must learn how to differentiate between hate comments and just criticism. Use the Malay idiom, buang yang keruh, ambil yang jernih.
Because
And
you don't want to be you don't want to be the type of person who is in the confidence, fighting for confidence space, but at the same time forgetting that other people's comments can have value.
true.
Come back
So
to the
so balance it out.
Mm-mm,
Don't be like
mm-mm.
I'm just gonna do whatever I like. I don't care. I mean that's the one extreme. The other extreme is like I have to follow what everybody says. That's another extreme.
Mm.
Find the
Balance
middle
it.
ground. Find the middle ground. So yes, have confidence in yourself. Stand your ground. Have principles. At the same time, listen to others.
Listen to others. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
speechless. I cannot talk anymore because there are a lot of questions and tips from our guests. I was so like, wow.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
very
Ah.
good.
The best
I'm so
episode
proud to be
ever.
here as a host. Okay, then actually we are running out of times. I don't know. I'm so sad because there are a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I want to ask more to our guests, but
But we are at the end of the show.
yeah. So
So-
actually, I want to thank our sponsor first,
Jatimas.
Jatimas, for the backdrop. Look at here. Oh my God, so nice. And also thanks a lot to our guests for spending your time with us. Thank you, Brother
Thank you
Aiman,
so
and also
much.
Sister Syasya
And
Fuad.
also last, maybe you guys
Maybe you
promote
can
your guys'
self-promote.
social
Yeah,
media.
self-promotion.
Okay.
your book.
Social media.
If you want more stuff, if this is not enough, you can follow me on any of the major social media platform: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok,
So many.
Pinterest,
LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
Indeed.
What else am I trying? So all the platforms you can just search for Aiman Azlan 90 is a number.
90.
90. Aiman
If
Azlan
people were
90.
to follow you on Twitter, will you follow back though?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Taking back my follow.
No.
Pressure, don't do
There's
like that.
no ill intent there. There's no
Yeah.
ill intent there. I'm just
Mm-mm.
trying to control my distraction.
Yes, of
Control
course.
this.
So
If
don't
I follow
forget to-
everybody, then how much time can I spend with my son?
Yes, of course.
Everybody's
Oh,
So
that's
it's
so
important
sweet.
too, guys.
Alright.
And also,
So-
Syasya, your
Alright,
Instagram?
so don't forget you can reach out to me on Instagram, cornflakesmadu_. I don't sell cornflakes madu, by the way. And you can also search cornflakes madu on Twitter. My profile will be on the
Or you
first
sell
search.
conflicts, man.
I don't sell cornflakes madu. That's my stage name. That's what people in campus calls me madu. It's a long story. I'll tell
Syasya
you
has
later.
her own
Okay.
station.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
and
okay.
also I I'm available for emceeing services in and out of campus. You can just DM me on Instagram for rates. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for having us today.
Yes.
Okay.
So for those, don't forget to follow and to keep updates from them.
Yes.
Aiman Azlan 90 and also Conflict Madu.
Madu.
And don't
And
forget
don't
to
forget
subscribe.
to watch our YouTube channel. And also-
Yes.
Yeah. IIUM_TV and also our Instagram channel
Yes.
IIUMTV. And also don't forget to catch us on every Monday.
Every
every
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
8 p.m. to 8:40
Every Monday is
p.m.
my show.
Ah,
Every Monday
yes.
is my show.
So that's all from us. Bye. Assalamualaikum. Thank
See you guys soon. Bye.